So I noticed some Forsaken drama that happened yesterday regarding the new merchandise that came out, but I don't give a fuck about the drama. I just want to talk about the merchandise. So I'm just gonna jump straight into this topic, but before I jump into it real quick, I am still working on the video that talks about everything I did for the Halloween update. I know it's taking ages. My apologies. I'm lazy as fuck. I'm probably gonna redo it so it's a lot easier on me and I don't have to do much editing. Anyways, back on the topic here. So Forsaken has made 4 new pieces of merchandise that you can get. There is new sweatpants, there is a new t-shirt, there is a new hoodie, and there is a new plushie, the plushie being of 2-time. Now, I'm going to try to approach this topic, but it really is based on your opinions of things, but this is kind of how I view it in some standpoints. So, I have hyperfixations on things, you know, like I love horror movies and horror games. Like, you know, I've got a bunch of stuff. I love metal. I've got a lot of band t-shirts and even some pants. I have a lot of stuff like that, and you know, I go around and wear that stuff. Everybody has hyperfixations. You have something out there that you love, and you know, whether it's a show, whether it's a game, whether it's just a character, you all have something out there that you like and you've developed an attachment to. Now, certain things that people like, they obviously like it, but it feels like there's a barrier between liking it and wearing merchandise of it out in public. Like, you will see a lot of memes out there of somebody wearing a Amazing Digital Circus backpack, or like a Fortnite backpack, or just Fortnite clothing. Maybe even Roblox, you know, like you don't really see many people wearing Roblox merch, so that's also kind of one that gets memed on. People still like these games. I like the Amazing Digital Circus. I watch it. And obviously I like Roblox, and I do like Fortnite. I like all these games, but I don't think I would wear merchandise of them. And the reason why is because most of the time that merchandise is made for these different shows and games, it's normally very loud. Now, let me explain what I mean by loud. If the merchandise is something very tame, like let's say it's just a black hoodie and maybe it has, like, you know, the game's logo on it and some cool art, just a little graphic, maybe something on the back too, you know, it's just something like that, like a black hoodie and it's got the game name and then it's got one of the characters, something like that, I would probably wear that. But when it's this bright color that is, you know, really loud and, you know, like you stick out like a sore thumb, I feel distances you from wanting to wear it because it just looks so goofy. Like, I'm an active shopper on Hot Topic, and I do watch Has Been Hotel. Hell of a Boss has taken almost over a year to release a new fucking episode, so I said, whatever, I'm gonna watch Has Been, and you know, I'm caught up on the show now. And I go on Hot Topic fairly often, and I saw that there's like an Alistair. I think it was either a sweater or a hoodie. But the thing is, it's like so loud and obnoxious that it really distances you from wanting to wear it. You know, obviously this varies on your clothing taste, you know, like again, this is just my opinion on the matter. If you want to wear it, of course you can. Of course you are perfectly fine wearing it. It's just, I know that we all probably have some different views on, you know, hey, I like this, but would I wear merchandise of it? It kind of feels like there's a bit of a line there, you know? So, yeah. But anyways, so let's start talking about what's going on with the clothing here. So, we'll start with the sweatpants. The sweatpants, I would say, are probably the loudest item out of the 3 new pieces of clothing that are arriving. And let me preface this as well. I don't think the artwork is bad, and I'm not saying that, you know, the, like, actual art of these pieces is bad. I'm just saying that the amount of graphic that's on the clothing piece is loud. So please do not interpret this as if I am saying that the artwork is bad. That is not at all what I'm implying. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different boxes having different scenarios of stuff in game. There's also a timer on the top, as you can see on the right pant. But yeah, there's one with like Cool Kid, there's one with Deucicar, there's one with 007, there's two-time chance, and you know, some of them have the little health bar displayed below. Actually, I believe almost all of them. Yeah, all of them have the little health bar displayed below. So the artwork is not that bad. It's all in a black and white format. The only color you actually see is the red on the health bar, implying the character's health. And the reason that I feel distanced from wanting to buy this piece is because of how much stuff is on the pants. Don't get me wrong, I like graphic pants. I like having pants that have something on them. Like right now, as I'm making this video, I am wearing pajama pants that have the Metallica logo all over them. And you know, I do like wearing pants that have graphics on them. But this feels a bit excessive. I probably would have knocked it down a little bit because some of these boxes are probably going to look weird when worn by a person, because, you know, the pants obviously aren't going to be that nice and flat, and all the various boxes, you know, are very easily visible. So, what I probably would have done is I would have either made the boxes smaller, so they could all still fit in a nice compact way where you can still see them, and had them more towards the top. Like you see where Deucicar is and where Cool Kid is, kind of at the upper thigh. Maybe even where Taff is, or Taff and Noob, because the upper thigh is where you're always going to be able to see the graphic with no problem. And I think that would have just been the most appropriate way to stop it, because the other ones down here, they're just so far down that, like, they're just going to look weird when wrapped around your leg. People probably aren't even going to be able to tell what the art piece is. And, you know, that's kind of what strays me away from this, is it feels really loud. And I kind of want it to just be, you know, there can be some graphics at the upper thigh, and then, you know, the rest is just black sweatpants, you know? It doesn't have to have something that goes all the way down. But yeah, the artwork on these sweatpants is still good. I'm not shaming the artwork. The artwork is perfectly fine. It's just, I believe that it could be toned down a little bit. Now, the Forsaken hoodie. So, this one's not as bad as the pants in terms of, you know, how much stuff is on it. It still does have quite a bit, but it definitely feels a bit tamer. But I also would probably still tone down on it a bit. But I do think that the hoodie is pretty cool. So, on the front here, you've got the Forsaken logo that is, you know, on the top, as you can see there. And then on the various sleeves are multiple panels of, I think it's all the killers. So, let's see here. Yeah, there's one for Noli, one for 1X, one for Guest 666, one for John Doe, one for Slasher, and one for Cool Kid. And then on the back here, you can see all of the survivors are grouped together on the back of the hoodie. Now, again, this really isn't all that bad compared to the pants, as I said, but I don't know how I feel about the sleeves. I feel like it's a weird design for, you know, the Forsaken logo to be there. And like, I don't know. And also, as you can see, this one has a model. You can see that with how much stuff is on the sleeves, you can't even really tell, you know, what the artwork is. So the artwork can't exactly be appreciated because you can't even really see what's on there. Now, I will say it kind of is giving this red flame-like effect, but I don't believe that's the intent of the hoodie. So, yeah, but I mean, it still kind of looks like a red flame, so that's kind of cool. But what I probably would have done instead is not had that Forsaken logo on the top right of the hoodie. And I would have instead had all the killers be on the middle, be the middle graphic. They are the centerpiece of the hoodie. This is what everyone's going to see when you're wearing this item. So I would have honestly just went with that because it just feels weird having them on the arm sleeves. And then, you know, you have that back piece that has all the survivors on the back, but you have all the killers on the sides, you know? It feels a little odd. So I probably would have put the killers on the front. I'm assuming the intent of this is when you get a view at the back here, you can see that all the killers are somewhat facing towards the group of survivors. So if that intent was kind of to be making it look like the killers are having a standoff with all the survivors at once, maybe I can understand that, but most of the killers aren't actually directly facing them, except for, I think, like, guess 666, and that's literally it. So I would have honestly put all the killers in a graphic on the front, because that probably could have been a really cool artwork, seeing all the killers grouped together there. And yeah, I just think it looks kind of weird on the sides like this. And now we get into the t-shirt. So the t-shirt, really, I have no problems with. The t-shirt is probably the tamest piece of the 3 new clothing items. It's just, you know, the iconic Forsaken timer with each survivor in one of these slots. So, you know, that's pretty clever. I do like that. Really good way to execute that as well. I think that this is a pretty tame t-shirt. I'm kind of shocked that the Forsaken logo didn't get put on it, though. Like, you know, I kind of would have expected the Forsaken logo to get put on this, but it didn't. But, you know, I'm not mad about that. It's just, you know, I thought it would be because, you know, it's just a little t-shirt. But this is a very tame item. It's very related to the clothing that I regularly wear, which is normally a black t-shirt with a different graphic on it. Normally horror movies or bands, but yeah, this is a tame piece. I don't really have any issues with it. And yeah, that's pretty much my views on the new Forsaken merchandise. The 2-time plush, I don't really have anything to say about because a plushie is a plushie. Like, come on, dude. I've got a lesbian Ghostface couple sitting on my monitors. I've got a Chucky plushie right up there. I've got a Ghostface plushie right there. Another Ghostface right up there. You know, oh, I've got my Goliath Freddy. You know, I can't really say anything about plushies. If you like plushies, you like plushies. There's nothing wrong with that. You're always free to love plushies. And if you like this merchandise, go ahead and wear it. You're free to. Go wear it. This is just my opinions on it. I know that sometimes we have things we like, but we wouldn't wear merchandise of it. I like the Amazing Digital Circus, but I would never wear merchandise. I like Hell of a Boss, but I would never wear merchandise. I like Hasbin, would never wear merchandise of it, though. And I love Roblox, but I would never buy merchandise based off of any Roblox game. You know, we all have different standpoints on this, and that's perfectly fine. I just wanted to give my share of it. And, you know, if you want to buy this merchandise, and if you like it, good. Because I'm not saying I dislike the pieces. It's just I think that they're loud. Loud being as in, like, you stick out. Like, you stick out a lot by wearing these. It's literally like when people take photos of someone wearing a Fortnite backpack. It's just like that. I don't think the artwork is bad at all. It's just, I think that it could have been approached differently. But again, you are all entitled to your own opinions, and if you disagree, that's perfectly fine, you know? Like, I cherish your opinions, my ball hairs. I cherish your opinions, so don't worry about it. And you know, I love all of you. I love you, all my ball hairs. Listen, I'm going to give you a little lovely pluck. Did you hear that? I just plucked you.